So I just ended a video that an alarm went off on my phone that ended a video I was making, and so it's kind of lame. I have to pick back up from this point, but I'm gonna pick up right where I left off, basically. So I was talking about how making really big changes, making big decisions in my life, taking big leaps of faith, changed my life for the better, and how trusting God and making those hard decisions has made a really big difference in my life. And I was talking about working at a job with my dad. So if you've watched part 1, keep watching this video. If you haven't watched part 1, watch part 1. Please watch part 1, so I don't have to repeat myself too much. But I asked God what I should do about the toxic work environment with my family, which is what a thing to say, right? Like, that just feels so wrong to even say. So sad to say my family is toxic. It's a very sad thing. But the situation I was in at the time was really bad. So I asked God what to do, and he was like, let me know when you're ready. And I was like, oh shoot. I was like, what the heck is this going to be? And he was like, I was like, okay, Father, I'm tired of this. I want whatever it is, Father, whatever it is. I trust you. Just tell me what it is, and I'll do it. I was like, so what is it, Father? What is it? He was like, go home. And I was like, oh my gosh, go home? Like, go home? Like, how can I just go home? Like, I already left, like I said, I already left early twice, 2 days in a row, sick and spiritual sickness, whatever. I have nothing to say. I have no excuse. I can't make up anything. I can't lie, because lying's wrong. I shouldn't lie. So what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And then I realized, well, this is the part where he told me, wait until you're ready. And because I clearly wasn't ready, but I tried. And I actually was, actually. After all, I ended up being ready. And so I said, okay, God, you've told me this. I asked, you told me, and now I'm going to listen. And this is the hard part. This is the scary part. This is the ugly part. But I'm going to listen. So I got up. I got up from my work zone. I went to the bathroom, just took my time. And then I think I asked for my break or something. I think I asked for my break on my shift, on my machine. I was at a station on a running machine. Asked for my break, and then got up, and then I went and talked to my dad. And I just told him, like, Dad, I can't remember what I said exactly, but I wasn't this eloquent, but I basically said, Dad, I have to go. I can't stay. I have to go. And basically, I didn't really get into it to explain it. I just basically said, I think I said something along the lines of, like, this just isn't where I'm supposed to be. And I could be here my whole life. I could spend my whole life here, and it's never going to be where I'm supposed to be. And that was a really hard thing to say to my dad. That was almost, in a way, that was a really, in my brother's point of view, a really messed up thing to say to my dad, because it hurt his feelings, because it was like, this is his company. He's worked so hard to create, and here I am telling him that it's absolutely wrong for me, like, in this way. That's, like, not making sense for my dad, and it's, like, breaking his heart and all this stuff. But I knew a lot of things going into it. I knew that if I made up an excuse and just said that, like, I'm just not really feeling good, I knew that wasn't going to do it. I knew that wasn't the answer. When God told me to go home, he wasn't just telling me to go home. He was telling me to go home and stay home. He was basically saying, go home and don't come back. Period. Don't come back. You understand what I'm saying? Don't come back to work. Don't come back to this job. When you leave today, you are to leave this job. You are not to come back to it. And so I talked to my dad, and I told him. He said, well, can you at least stay and finish the shift? And I told him, I was like, and I feel scummy. I feel scummy for doing this. I feel scummy. But this was a hard decision, and this was where, and I get flack from my brother or I used to at least. We don't really talk about it anymore because we've kind of fleshed it out or whatever. But I just told him no. I told my dad no. I told him, I was like, no, I can't. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. He's like, okay, And he was kind of upset, but he didn't show it very much. Afterwards, I found out he was really upset, and he was really upset. Like disheartened, upset, which breaks my heart. But I tried. And I have never really talked to them that much about this at all. I never really, because I felt so bad. I felt, it's not that I felt bad, it's that I tried, I tried. I tried talking to them. I tried. And they wouldn't listen. And you can only try so hard for so long. And when you give it your best shot, when you give it all you've got, and it still doesn't matter and they still don't listen, then what are you supposed to do? Keep doing that? Of course not. So that's why I made other moves. And that's why God told me to leave. Because he knew that it was best for me to leave. He knew what was best for me. He knew what was best for me in a way that my dad didn't. My dad didn't know. My dad didn't understand. My dad couldn't understand. My dad couldn't know at the time. And that was part of the lesson. The lesson for me in listening to God and moving on and leaving a bad environment, a bad situation for me, and for my dad in a way, which I still don't know if my dad has understood or learned this at all. But I should probably talk to him about it now, because it's like enough time has passed to where we can talk about it. But it's just hard. It was a hard decision for sure, and it was just difficult. And I think a lot of times people maybe, I can see somebody looking at this and be like, well, it's not that big a deal actually. After all, it was just a job, and it wasn't working for you, and it was really hard for you. It was bad for your mental health and your spiritual health and your emotional health and everything, and you left it. Well, good for you. You should have left it. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't have stayed there. And that's absolutely right. I shouldn't have stayed there. But it was hard because it hurt my dad's feelings. But in the long run, it was more important that I did what I needed to do for my own mental health. It's better that my dad be upset and cry than for me to suffer and 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 suffer again and again and again and again every day. So I know I made the right decision, and it was a crazy situation. It came with crazy results. But that's the time that God told me what to do. He gave me an answer, and he warned me. He said, this is not going to be easy, Justin. And I was like, now I'm like, you're right. You're right. Totally. It wasn't easy at all. But it was the right thing to do. And a lot of times when God asks us to do things, this is one of the things I like about people in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They seem more willing to listen and understand. They seem more open to those moments where God told you to do something, and I don't understand it. I don't understand why he told you to do that, but if he did, right? And I feel like there's a lot more